Okay, so I just finished my second type of palm cooling testing. So the first time I tested this, I did 7 rounds of a seated strict press, and every round I went to failure, and I took 3 minutes between the rounds. The first day I did it with no palm cooling, and the very next day I did the same 7 rounds, 3 minutes between, with palm cooling during my rest periods, and I had a 15% improvement. So I went from 128 reps on day 1 to 150 reps on day 2, when arguably I probably should have been more fatigued, and honestly mentally I didn't even want to do it because it was so hard to go to failure for 7 sets in a row. Today I just finished my second round of testing, and what I did here is I changed it up a little bit. So I did a seated row, and I held myself to a strict standard of being able to touch my knuckles to my ribs on every rep. Okay, so I did 20 reps of those per set, and then immediately into 20 squat jumps to get my heart rate and temperature rising, and then I took just a 1-minute break in between. And so I did basically I went until I could no longer touch my thumbs to my ribs. So every round I did 20, and then I stopped on the round where I could no longer touch my knuckles to my ribs to complete that standardized rep. So with the palm cooling, I was able to get 10 rounds plus 19. So I failed on the 20th rep of the 11th round. So that was a score of 219 reps before I failed. Again, that was with a 1-minute break. Without the palm cooling, so that was with the palm cooling, without the palm cooling, which is kind of blowing my mind right now, I was able to complete 7 rounds only and 18 reps before I failed. So a pretty significant difference of almost 3 rounds. So that's like a 61 rep difference before failure. So that was pretty impressive for me. Seems with like a little bit less rest, and also doing an exercise that got my heart rate and temperature up. For me, that cooling effect was even greater. So I'll put up the numbers, the percentages. So far so good with the palm cooling technique. Seems to be boosting my performance in a pretty good way, a pretty significant way.